everybody learned what I teach and we went into the world
I
and
want
we
to learn.
all did it, we would all bring heaven to earth. The two strongest powers to heal the mind is unconditional love and gratitude. Gratitude can change who you are in the world and how you show up. Okay. If you keep thinking negatively, you are what you become. If you want to change who you are in the present and how you show up in your future, you have to change the subconscious mind. You will be free of all fear. You will not have fear. You will see that fear is nothing more than feedback. It just says, caution, pay attention. There's something in the field that you need to pay attention to, but it does not mean stop and it does not mean failure.
Hello, Thane, and welcome to the Awakened Heart podcast.
Hey, thanks you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
I am so excited to have you here. I love your energy, and I love that we just spent the last 20 minutes chit-chatting before we hit record here, and I love your energy, and I love all
Hey,
your insight. Like, we could add a podcast before the podcast.
yeah,
So,
yeah, we did, didn't we? We solved
yes.
all the problems of the world in 20 minutes.
Yes, and part 2, I'm gonna have him on again. We're gonna talk about why are so many amazing women single? We were just chit-chatting
Yes,
about that.
yes.
Single.
What is wrong with men today and why can they not treat women the way they should be treated? That's definitely a podcast
Exactly.
topic.
Yeah. Yes. It's a dilemma. So
Mhm.
I am so excited about this conversation. And I know this is going to be one of those conversations because we're talking about real transformation, not the kind people post about, but the kind that comes from hitting bottom, facing everything, and somehow rebuilding from that place. And what's interesting is you've taken all of that and turned it into something people can actually apply in their own lives.
Yeah.
So I want to unpack that with you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know you've lived what most people couldn't even imagine, but when you look back now, what feels like the true turning point, the moments that begin to shift from surviving to awakening? And with that, can you go back into a little bit of what you were going through before you started flowing into this beautiful space that you are now? What was the turning point
Yeah.
from where you started?
For me, I've known a life of madness. And that's just the best way to describe my life prior. Because I wasn't raised in a normal environment. It looked like a normal environment from the outside, but I was being secretly abused by people that I went to church with. And it was an ugly secret that I kept from my family and I kept from everybody. I hid the secret because, they were really good at convincing me that if I said anything to anybody that I would be removed from my family or they would hurt my sister. I was 8 at the time and she was 5 and I did not want what had happened to me to happen to her. So I made that decision as a little boy to keep my silence and I told nobody. So sadly the people that hurt me hurt many others, not just me. And because of the age, I developed some peculiar conditions. One of them, which was dissociative identity disorder. So my brain protected me because I would be abused and then I would have to go to school and act as if nothing had happened.
God.
And the way that that happens inside the brain is by splitting. And the brain literally learns a skill, and that's the ability to switch personalities. And it's a coping mechanism. So I began splitting as a child. The abuse lasted over 6 years, and it left a permanent mark on my psyche because I was never the same after that. I poured myself into music. Music was my best friend, still is today. My tattoos, I have a piano on my
Mhm.
there. That's my piano
Hmm.
all the time. You see the butterflies?
Yes.
Yes.
Transformation.
Yep, transformation. I was obsessed with butterflies as a child because I looked at them as something that I wasn't. I was ugly
Mhm.
and I felt ugly by what was happening to me, but I
Mhm.
wanted to be that beautiful butterfly. And I actually wrote a song when I was 12. It's called The Life of a Butterfly. And I would play it for audiences and I would tell a funny story that would make people laugh. But the composition was actually about my abuse because I smashed the piano with my hands and I do some dramatic things. And that was me telling my story as a 12-year-old little boy. I was telling the audience what was happening to me, and they didn't know it. Um,
Mm.
but that song is also what's tattooed on my arm right here. That's my hand.
Oh,
And
the
that's
notes.
called The Life of a Butterfly. And that's why people call me the original butterfly man, because I got 5 tattoos of butterflies. And this is the logo. It's
I
actually
did notice
made
that.
up of hearts. They're 4 imperfect hearts that when you arrange 4 imperfect hearts perfectly, you get a transparent heart in the middle.
Mhm.
So this is the logo for my company, which is called It's Pure Love.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I thought it was a flower. I had noticed that on you earlier.
Yeah, it looks like a but the little tentacles are the butterfly.
Mhm. I do see it now. Oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Oh, I see
Yeah,
the
that's
top.
our logo. Yeah, it is a butterfly made of hearts, and it's a key part of everything I do in the world. We call it the coolie fly, and you get to become one after you finish taking my course,
Mhm.
and you can pass the exam. That's what I would tell you. There is an
Mhm.
exam at the end, and you it's self-monitored. You're the proctor, by the way. So
Gosh, go
So
ahead.
life for me was challenging, okay?
Yeah.
I I I managed to make it through life, with a lot of chaos. It caused a lot of problems. You can imagine at one time I had 10 personalities, and not all of
That's
them, and they were different orientations. I'll share that, okay? So some of my orientations were heterosexual, some were asexual, and some were actually gay. And yet I was married and had a family, and
Mhm.
I had to navigate having DID. Uh, I was also diagnosed bipolar, severe ADHD, and dissociative PTSD, CPTSD. I had all of that, but I
Wow.
don't today. None of it. And what healed was, I there was a moment when everything changed for me, literally one evening, and I drowned in the pool. I was given some medication by a doctor I should never have been given. We know that now because we have since done genetic testing on me, and we know that the number one drug I should not have been given was the one that they gave me.
Mm.
And I had an allergic reaction to it. I had a seizure while swimming. I was alone, and I ended up drowning. I
Wow.
literally woke up at the bottom of my family swimming pool, and I did not know how I got there. That's how my
Wow.
ending started, from the bottom of the swimming pool.
So you woke up on the bottom of the swimming
Yep.
pool. You don't hear that a lot. Usually someone's pulled out and they're trying to be resuscitated and
I
then
was
they hover above.
bottom of the pool and my lungs were full of water.
Wow.
Yep. But I knew that I had been someplace. I was calm. My body did not, not respond like it you would think. It wouldn't move. Like, it was like I was in my body, but the body was not responding. And I I knew I was gonna die. I could see the moon and the waves on the surface of the water, and I knew I knew where I was, and I basically started pleading with God. I'm like, "I don't know how I got here, but if I'm gonna live, God, you gotta help me figure out how to make this body move so I can get out." And so what happened was, about 7 years prior, back in 2017, I, was diagnosed with cancer, thyroid cancer. I had an enlarged thyroid, and I had 2 golf ball-sized tumors that were growing on the inside of my neck, which was causing my arms to go numb. And once we figured out what the issue was, they removed the thyroid and all of the tumors and the mass that was in my neck. So it left like a hole that's in my esophagus up here behind what you can't see. There's like a hole in my trachea. And if I take a breath of air in quickly, it can separate and go into that hole and into my lungs. So when I was at the bottom of the pool, and I didn't know how to get out, I was praying, and I got this voice that said, "Raise your head, Thane." So I did. I literally went like that. And when I went like that, that oxygen that was in that pocket
Mm.
went into my lung
Wow.
and gave me the ability. to get enough oxygen to again start coughing it up. And I was able to make my way to the surface of the pool and kind of float. Like I floated like a dead man because my body still wasn't working. I
Face
couldn't.
down?
um, no, I was on my back.
Okay.
I had surfaced and was kind of like that, just barely staying on the surface of the water. And then I made my way over to the side of the pool and I laid there for a couple of hours. I couldn't move. And I just looked at the stars and the moon and the sky and I
Nobody
became
was there.
obsessed. What's that?
Nobody was there. So you were laying there. You coughed enough, you got enough oxygen, then coughed
Yes.
enough of it up to stay alive. Wow, you
Yes.
were that was divine
Yep. And
inter
here's the thing. I went into that pool with 10 personalities.
and you came
I
out with
came out
one.
of the pool with one.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yep. And then I knew I had been someplace
Yeah.
because my first NDE actually happened when I was a little boy. The people that were abusing us would sometimes drug us so that we wouldn't remember things, and they OD'd me, and I left my body once as a child, and they ended up putting me in an ice bath to revive me. But my first NDE that I had was as a little boy, and I met my grandfather on the other side
Mm,
the first time. And he explained that I wasn't supposed to be there, that I had a life to live, I had things I needed to accomplish, and I couldn't stay as much as I wanted to stay. Because
mhm.
trust me, it's a heck of a lot better there than it is here. And he's like, "No, you have to go back." And so he pushed me, literally, and he pushed me
Oh,
back into my body, and that happened I was young that
that's
first
when you
time
were
I
going through your abuse, yeah,
yeah,
wow.
I was a little boy.
Now, I have a question. I know, we were talking about how much your family, your mother, your father, how wonderful they are. If they had no idea this abuse was going on. Were you at a boarding school or were you
No. So most of the abuse would happen during the summer months. I was a latchkey kid, so both of my parents worked.
Oh,
So it was usually during the summer months when we were out of school and mom would be at work, dad would be at work, and we would be home alone, you know. And I mean, we were old enough to be home alone, but no, I mean, it wouldn't have happened had my parents been able to have my mom stay home. But my mom had to work and
exactly.
left kids, you know, available. And all it took was one crazy pedophile to move onto the street
My god.
and then began picking us off one at a time.
My god. Did they get him? Lord help me. And your
No,
mom must have been so upset when she found out.
my parents were devastated. They
Yeah,
found
you
out,
feel
it
guilty.
was in my face when they
Yeah.
found out, and it was because I had attempted suicide. And they could not comprehend how, because I also had a perfect life on the outside. I was working for corporate America, very high profile sales career, very high profile company on a stage in front of thousands of people regularly. Nobody had any idea what was hiding behind the fake facade that I had created. Right. Like
Wow.
that's what led to the madness was I was
Suffering underneath.
completely different from what I projected into the world. And
Like,
that inability to switch from being broken into the superstar that everybody knew me to be was what drove the decision one day for me to just say, "I'm done."
yeah. Because you're
Right?
suffering in silence. It's like you've got this whole facade and what appears on the surface, this amazing life you
Yeah.
presenting in front of all these people. You have this amazing sales
Yep.
career,
Right.
this life, and nobody knows what's going behind the surface. That's why I try to have empathy
Ex
for some people out there because you don't know what's going on.
Oh, you have no idea. Always remember this. Everything is a mirror. Always. Okay. That's one of
Mhm.
the principles I teach. And what I mean by that is what we are inside is how we show up on the outside. So if somebody is angry and they're being mean and disrespectful and they're just showing up in a ugly way, that's because they're ugly inside. And there's something going on in their life that is making them feel that way. And because of that, they're acting that way. So if somebody is acting negatively and being negative, that is because they are, in fact, also negative. So, the quickest way to diffuse like a time bomb, is to just approach them on the subject. Look, hey, I understand you're upset and irritated right now, and I appreciate your anger. In fact, I'm grateful that you shared your anger with me in the intense way that you shared it, because it also shows me how important it is to you. So if we could just lower the decibels and the energy down a little bit, if you could join me in this space, I'm pretty confident that we can have an adult conversation that's going to end up with a better outcome than allowing you to continue to be mean and to belittle me. There's no reason for it. And it's always because that person is hurt and they're acting in anger from a point of an injury. So if you can see the injury and help the person see the injury, find the injury, you will also diffuse the bomb in that conversation. So
Mhm.
most often, as hard it is as it is, because when people approach us and they're defensive, we immediately throw our defense up. Our bodies do that naturally. You learn to understand that your body and your subconscious mind is actually separate from you. Okay. And that's something that I ultimately teach in my course, which is metacognition, which is the understanding that I, I'm the observer. Okay. I observe my subconscious mind and I observe my body, but my mind is not me. That is the subconscious mind and the body as programmed by me, but it is not the observer. It is not the higher voice that can always override the lower voice. We all have that power. We just don't think that way, right? So
Mhm.
when you learn to separate the subconscious mind and the body separate from the self, that's when you start becoming emotionally intelligent and understanding that that body is just a system and it's based upon pattern, learned behaviors, and repetition. So if my brain is showing up incorrectly, I can fix my brain and I can also fix how I show up. Yes, that's true.
Mhm.
That is neuroscience. Neuroscience is understanding how the brain learns and then applying mechanisms so that we learn a different story.
Mhm.
Okay.
Have you heard I've had some recently fascinating interviews. I had an interview and then somebody in my networking group works with neurofeedback, biofeedback. Have you
I
heard
listened to
about
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
did you?
I did. Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's one that just came out. I was just
Yep.
like if people did this, we be have a whole different planet. Like the
Well,
brain is learning from itself
that is true. Yep.
pretty
I
incredible.
actually teach something that would change the entire planet in 2 weeks,
Mm.
literally. If everybody learned what I teach and we went into the world
I
and
wanna
we
learn.
all did it, we would all bring heaven to earth.
Oh.
Because what I teach is unconditional love. I teach the two strongest powers to heal the mind is unconditional love and gratitude.
Yes.
Literally. Literally. I knew gratitude as a word that I would roll my eyes at because my grandmother, my mother would use it often when I would want more ice cream. My grandmother would say, "You're not grateful for the ice cream you already have." And so the word gratitude was something that was used as a weapon. And many parents have used gratitude as a weapon. You're not grateful. You need to be more grateful. Oh, you want to take the car? Now you want gas money? You're not grateful. How many times have we said that as parents? So gratitude gets a bad rap. But what people don't realize is that gratitude is neuroscience. Gratitude is a framework. Gratitude can change who you are in the world and how you show up. Okay. Because in the course that I teach, there is a very, very specific exercise I teach using gratitude. Get this, with strangers. Yeah. You're going to create gratitude with people that you don't know. You're going to demonstrate the most powerful thing in the world, which is unconditional love for a stranger. And when you do that, and you do it in the way that I teach you, you're going to get hit with what we call a gratitude cocktail. And the gratitude cocktail is a phenomenon that is going to be studied by a university because we don't know what the body's doing, but it's doing something. And it's like a control alt delete of your brain. That's what it is. Okay. And it's done through a cadence of certain hormones delivered in the body in a certain order. And it sounds complicated, but it's really not. It's actually the most beautiful thing in the world when we exercise love unconditionally with strangers. It heals our hearts.
I can totally see that gratitude for strangers because there is a practice that's like namaste. I recognize the divine in me recognizes the divine in you,
Yeah.
or where you're speaking to or acknowledging someone, looking them in the eyes, acknowledging their spirit. Because even if they can't consciously see it, their
Mhm.
subconscious knows. So you're recognizing the divine, the spirit, the wholeness in the other person. It doesn't go unnoticed. So I can see gratitude for the person. I'm interested to see what a great method to do for strangers you don't even know, but
It
having great.
is what's interesting, COVID closed us off.
Mhm.
COVID changed the way that we all communicate, and we've never returned. We've
Yeah.
never gone back. Like, go into the world and look. And if you're aware in the world and you're actually paying attention, you are an anomaly. Everybody else is a walking zombie. They're in their default mode network. They are letting their subconscious mind direct their thoughts and their body. And that's how they show up in the world. They're literally just energizer bunnies. They're not thinking, they're not present, and we meander around the world bumping into each other. That's the truth, because we're
It is.
afraid to be seen and we're afraid to see other people. And COVID changed that.
Mhm.
So what I've learned is that there is a way to meet strangers using gratitude, and you can have a genuine conversation with them that is incredible. And I have literally seen some of the most miraculous people that I met as strangers using gratitude to heal myself. I use gratitude to heal myself. And I got off 7 pillboxes. 7. Okay. So 7 times 7, 49 boxes for me to empty to make it through the week. You know how many pillboxes I have today? None.
Mm.
0. Okay. And I got all of those antidepressants, all those antipsychotics, all those things that every doctor gave me with good intention. They had good intention, but the system is broken
Yes.
today. It's
Yes,
broken.
medicate, medicate, medicate.
It is. And that's not how you solve it. You have to go
No,
to the
it's a
core.
Band-Aid.
Yes, you gotta go to the core wound. It's in the psyche.
Mhm,
It's in the shadow.
mhm.
So how do I get this stuff out of the shadow? Well, you do that by putting light in your heart. When you
Yes.
put the light in your heart, you will see every shadow, and
Oh,
it allows you to heal it.
oh boy, I just got the visitor.
Yeah, no problem.
The
Who's
birthday
coming
girl.
who's coming on?
It's Ava just knocked open the door. "Hey, go back." It's my
Hi,
cat.
Ava.
"Come here,
Aw,
Ava."
we love kitties. I have a pit bull. He's sleeping on the bed,
Well, it's good when they're sleeping. This one always comes.
and
It's
she's a
her birthday
female
today.
tabby.
She's a she's a
My
orange kitty.
gosh. So she looks
Go
just
back
like
down.
a cat we had for 16 years named Boo. And
Boo.
yep, and she was also a female tabby, which is very rare, as you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
very rare to have female tabbies.
a
Yeah, we had
female
Boo for
orange.
almost 14 years. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, they're the best. She always senses stuff. Thankfully, she's walking back out. She'll
Yeah.
back and forth, back and forth. Yeah. What were we were talking about gratitude. Thanks,
Yeah.
Eva, for
So so what I do is I teach through experiences,
Mhm.
okay? So I work with you for about 8 hours, and I teach you the equation of life and abundant happiness, and you actually already know it. You know it, right? I'm gonna ask you something. What was the first mathematical thing you remember learning in grade school? What was the first operator that you learned?
I hated math. 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Hey, okay, so there you go. You remembered addition,
Yes.
and then what did you learn
Addition,
after addition?
division, multiplication.
Subtraction,
Yep,
subtraction.
subtraction,
Then
forgot
you learned your
subtraction
then you learned your multiplication tables,
and
and
then
then you
division.
began dividing.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So add, subtract, multiply, divide, and then there's one more operator, the equal sign.
Oh, yes.
Equal sign. Okay.
That's about as far as I got.
So the equation of life and abundant happiness is applying mathematical principles to human emotional energy, because human emotional energy is matter. no different than the way God keeps matter balanced up there in the cosmos. That's math that keeps everything in perfect balance. It is math. So what happens if we applied math perfectly to our own lives? Could we also not achieve perfect balance? The answer is yes. I learned that in my NDE. That's what I learned, that everything in the world is governed by math and everything is always in perfect balance. But we as humans, we don't see that. We're drawn towards the negative, and we naturally see the negative things that happen to us. But the thing is, there's always an equal amount of positive whenever there is an equal amount of negative, but we never see the positive and we don't take the time to find it. So what happens is over time, we adopt negative thinking. And if you keep thinking negatively, you are what you become. So your
Mm.
subconscious mind is filled with negative thought, which is why you're negative and you project negative into your future. So if you want to change who you are in the present and how you show up in your future, you have to change the subconscious mind. You have to change the stories that you play in your mind that are incorrect, because you wrote those stories when you were a little girl, before you had a mature brain that understood long-term decision making. So you wrote the wrong story, then you embellished the story. Now that embellished story becomes a self-limiting belief, and for the rest of my life I will never touch that one thing again. So for me, I had multiple self-limiting beliefs, many, and we all do. So I figured out a way to help us all find our self-limiting beliefs, and it's through living them, literally living them. So I designed 101 psychologically driven exercises that are rooted in the way that human beings learn. Okay. So the thing that you have to understand to change your brain is that our brains see, they're scanning. We have 68,000 thoughts a day on average, 68,000. So most of those are done by our nervous system and our subconscious mind automatically. I can reach over here, I'm not looking at it, grab this glass of water, bring it to my mouth. Those were thousands of decisions to make that happen. I didn't think about it. My body
Mhm.
did it. Okay. That's my nervous system and me doing that literally millions of times. Okay. So that's what the brain is doing. It's looking for repetition, and it doesn't like to process if it doesn't have to. So if it sees a pattern, it's going to serve up the story that always gets us out of that situation, because that's what we've always done. It's just the pattern. So I've got to change the root pattern, which is the stimulus that's coming out of the body. In order to do that, I have to experience it in the body real time. You see? So is there a way? Because look, we all remember, we learn better when we do something. 90% retention. When we
Mhm.
read, it's only 10%. So would you rather read a book about self-improvement, or would you rather take an exercise that actually does it for you live? That makes more sense, doesn't it? So
Yes.
that's exactly what I do. So I send you into the world with 101 experiences, and they're all designed around love, kindness, and gratitude. They're all rooted in goodness. Okay. So each of the exercises are designed to be safe. That's number one. The body has to have a sense of safety in order to learn. So they're going to be safe, but they're also going to have a little bit of risk in them. And they have risk for a reason, because when our subconscious mind identifies risk, it goes into a special learning mode where it says, hey, we've identified that on the field that I'm looking at between my sight and what I'm hearing, this conversation could go bad. Historically, when I talk to strangers, I get nothing or it's a negative feeling. So that's what's going to happen in this situation. And the brain predicts an average or an ugly conversation with that stranger. That's true. All right. So then I train you to deliver kindness and love instead. So now I'm talking to a complete stranger, and I've figured out a way to thank them for how they're showing up in my life. And I mean authentically and from your heart. And when you do that, you get what's called a predictive mismatch. And what happens is the brain says, well, wait a minute, I projected ugliness and negativity, but you just gave this person love and kindness. That's love. Release the dopamine, let the oxytocin go. And that's literally what happens.
Mhm.
So what happens is the oxytocin and the dopamine in this experience mixes with this incredible modulator called vasopressin. And vasopressin is present in your blood system because it has identified a sense of risk. Okay? Because I'm now talking to a stranger. Of course, that's risky. My body went into risk mode because I don't know you. And your body went into risk mode because you don't know me. So then when I deliver kindness and love, and I say to you, hey, I know that you're just standing there at the counter at the Starbucks taking my order, but you know what? Today you're actually making a difference in my life. Okay. And I mean that sincerely
Oh
because
my God, people need to hear that.
you did not, you made a choice to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, to come to this coffee shop, to open it up, to get the food on the displays, to get the coffee machines warmed so that when I show up at 6 a.m., I got that warm cup of coffee. So, had you not gotten out of bed and come to this minimum wage job, which I know is a sacrifice for you to be here, I wouldn't have this warm, hot cup of coffee. Okay. And what you also don't know is I'm going to pick up a second cup of coffee. I'm going to take it down the street to my brother who's holed up in his condominium right now and he's afraid. All right. But his favorite coffee is a skinny vanilla latte. And I know if I pick it up right here, it'll be out the window in 4 minutes and I'll be down the road to visit my brother and share some love with him. So, yeah, you think you're just standing there sharing coffee, but you made a difference in my life today. And I want to thank you for showing up. I want you to know what's your name. Sarah, my name is Thayne Martin. It's an absolute pleasure to work with you today. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here and I see you.
Oh my
That's
God, that makes me wanna cry. That would make me wanna cry. Like,
okay.
you're probably the
Okay. And Nancy, you're exactly right. That's exactly what happens. Okay.
Mhm.
That person who just got that love from
Changes.
me anonymously, they start crying.
Yes.
Okay. Because they haven't been seen. They're beat up on the front lines. Nobody's kind. Not anymore. Okay. So what happens to me when I see somebody crying because I just poured my love into their heart? What happens to my heart? My heart opens too.
Yes.
So I end up in tears. So now I'm a complete stranger. And in just 60 seconds, I have filled my heart and your heart with the most powerful drug in the world. It's called unconditional love. And you also get dopamine and a little hit of adrenaline. Okay. And you're going to get this cocktail because that dopamine and that oxytocin just mix with that vasopressin. And when vasopressin mixes with dopamine and oxytocin, it does something in our brain. Okay. It says to the brain, this is so important, what you just learned, that you can never forget that. This interchange where you just got unconditional love from a complete stranger is so important, you can never forget it. And so the brain records a new memory attached to the old negative stimulus that came from the body. And it happened real time in a short window, in the short window that we have for the brain to naturally update the record and the memory. So literally, I can move mountains of self-limiting belief and trauma by lived experience. And when you complete my course, you will be free of all fear. You will not have fear. You will see that fear is nothing more than feedback. It just says, caution, Thayne, pay attention. There's something in the field that you need to pay attention to, but it does not mean stop and it does not mean failure. Well, isn't that the ultimate freedom when you have no fears in life? And that includes people. And now I realize because I've made more I call it a gratitude sandwich. I've made more gratitude sandwiches, thousands of them, right? And every single one of them is still rippling through the world today because that's how gratitude works. When I create it with another human being and I lift their heart and they lift mine, the next person that they meet gets that ripple from their heart too. And
Hmm.
so on down the road. Like I saw that in my NDE. God showed me how the things that we do ripple forever, forever. Every word we say, you can't take it back and it exists. We can't hear it. God can forever.
Hmm.
And that's why, our actions and what we do matters, right? The little things that we do as human beings, we're disconnected today in our country and you feel it, you walk into the world, it's ugly. I don't like to be there. And you can feel the negative energy. It's everywhere.
Mhm.
And people they're starving for connection
For
and
this.
they're starving for love. Yeah. So my goal is to bring this phenomena to clinical study, but ultimately I'm going to make it go viral. I want to teach people how to create gratitude sandwiches with strangers anonymously. And when you do and you learn this trick, you'll never have a bad day.
Mm.
Seriously. People in my program, we use this to regulate our emotional energy. I never have a bad day ever. If I'm having a rough day and I need to upright my energy, I will just say a prayer and I'll be like, "Hey God, yeah, I need to put some more love and light in my heart today, and I'm going to ask you to help me find the person out there that
Mhm.
needs to feel that love." And
Mm.
inevitably, that person will cross your path, and
Yeah.
you'll pour your heart into them, and you're going to walk away feeling amazing, and so
Mm.
will they, right? And then it just ripples. Like that is my work. I heal people through experiences, right? Like that's probably one of the most difficult experiences, but they're all designed to see how you show up.
Mhm. So it's such a beautiful thing you're talking about how the gratitude sandwich and walking out into the world and people are very disconnected. So you're probably the first person in a long time that has come and really seen them.
Yes.
And it speaks to something in them and their spirit. And they're always going to remember that. And hopefully they'll give it forth as well. And that's the epitome of, you always hear that giving is almost more powerful than receiving. I mean, they're both intertwined, but like you're giving
I love that.
from your
Yes,
heart
yes.
and you're feeling the same things that as if you were receiving it from someone else. And it's actually, I love how you tie it into the physical effects, the biological effects that it has, the dopamine. That's why I love Joe Dispenza because he
Yep,
ties the spirituality and what you're experiencing with the physical,
yep.
which ties it in, scientifically. So I can see how that can cause ripples throughout the world. So if you need to feel good, you're asking for guidance, then you go out and share that with somebody else. And I know I like the way you do it. You go into more detail. I do try to find, oh, look, you look so beautiful today. Thank you so much for helping me. I did that to somebody that was waitressing at IHOP. We were downtown Detroit, and I just thought she was beautiful. She had this beautiful manner about her. She had
Yeah.
this glow. Her skin was radiant. I just said, you know what? You've got just such a beautiful energy about you.
Mhm.
And you've just got such great mannerism and you're beautiful and your skin glowing. She just like hugged me. She just wanted to cry. She was having such a bad day and she really needed to hear that. I'm like, oh, well, it's true. It's
Yep.
true. So it does feel good. And a lot of us do have fear about talking to people, connecting. Oh, maybe they'll think maybe they won't receive it properly or they'll think I'm a weirdo. But who cares if they think you're just sharing
Great.
what you have in your
Right.
heart with them, you
Yeah.
know?
The thing is that I teach too is we call them convenience emotional workers. And those are people who work with the public who have to be kind to you even when they don't want to. So
Mhm.
think of all those positions where like how about the clerk at the Target that process returns after Christmas? Okay?
Oh God.
Be that person. Okay. And
Mhm.
listen to people lie all day long about, oh no, I never wore this. I didn't open the box, even though the tape is missing and the box is ripped. Okay. Like you're getting the worst in human behavior. Okay. When was the last time that you walked up to that person and thanked them for doing their job? Never. Not once. Have you ever seen somebody do that job and thank them for doing it? None of us have. That's the perfect person for a gratitude sandwich for you and for them.
Mhm.
Because number one, you don't know them. Number two, you're in a place that you've never been before. Okay. Those are two of the prerequisites in order to have the perfect gratitude sandwich. You cannot know them and you cannot be in a space that you've been before. And when you do that, the brain goes into the risk mode and it's learning. And that is why when I create gratitude with my wife, I will not get a gratitude cocktail. I will not get that phenomena of the release of those chemicals into my bloodstream. It only happens with strangers. And the reason it happens with strangers is because vasopressin gets created with strangers. And vasopressin is a social bonding neuromodulator, and it also regulates blood pressure in the body. It's the most misunderstood of the neuromodulators, and it is also the core of the research that my company is doing. I have a neuroscientist on staff now that works for me. And we're going to study this clinically because we have literally learned something that is revolutionary in psychology and how we can heal people through experiences. And
Mhm.
it's because of the way that you learn and how that you learn. And there's actually 5 scientific levels that I'm pulling in an exercise. And that's what's causing the phenomenon. It's
Mm.
predictive mismatch, it's all kinds, it's memory reconsolidation, it's polyvagal theory, all of those different things come into play. So my deck of cards is 101 exercises. Are some of them are easy. Easiest one would be like say smile marathon. I'm going to ask you to go into public and sit in a public park on a bench or in the mall. And for 30 minutes, you're going to sit and smile at every person that walks by. That's it. That's your only job. So, what do you learn about yourself in that 30 minutes? What did you think what would happen and what actually happened? Okay. I'm creating predicted error and predictive mismatch, and I'm going to prove you wrong every time. Okay. And when you prove the brain is wrong, the brain will update and remember, especially if there's heavy hormones involved, which there will be. It's called love. Every exercise is rooted in love and kindness. So when I do a prediction error, you're right. You're going to have a prediction error. And the error is going to be that I got love and kindness and I was expecting something not less than that. So that's how you do it, right? So that's what I've discovered. So you learn how to, gradually take a person from I can't even speak to a stranger to I can actually have a conversation with the stranger and how they show up, and I can be vulnerable in such a way that I'm going to get the strongest, most healing thing I've ever felt go surge through my body as I get a gratitude cocktail. Because once you have one, you will not forget it. I'm telling you right now, I have a video full of people that got a cocktail because they send me a video. The minute you land your first 5-star cocktail, I make you take a video and send it to me. Okay. So my phone is full of these amazing
How
videos of
wonderful.
people creating love in the world. And then the thing is, once they master their technique, they become a gratitude junkie for
Mhm.
sure. Because you know that I can go anywhere in the world with this protocol
I was
and
just
I
gonna
can
say that.
create love anywhere I
Yes.
go in
Yes.
connection with any human being. And that's what's so incredibly powerful,
Become
right?
fearless.
Yeah.
Fearless. You're just full you're feeling this love everywhere, and you're not afraid to go and share this love with other people, no
Nope.
matter if they look at you weird or they reject you. Most people are gonna receive it. Uh,
What's the
so
worst thing's going to happen? They're going to
right?
be polite. In a gratitude sandwich, the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to be polite and they're going to say thank you.
Yeah.
That is the worst thing that's going to happen. So what does that mean? There's no risk. There's no
Mhm.
risk. Your body will perceive risk. Trust me. Your brain's going to perceive risk and you're going to feel the vasopressin. Your heartbeat will go up, but you'll feel it. Like when vasopressin's present, you'll know it,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yep, that's vasopressin. Yep. So it's acetylcholine that starts the chemical. So when I use your name, most people don't realize there's a hormone called acetylcholine. And when I say the name Nancy, you just got acetylcholine. Like
Really?
literally. Yeah.
Like, what does that do?
Literally. Yeah. So acetylcholine, it's a neuromodulator that brings us from our default network up into the present moment. When I use your name Nancy, it secretes acetylcholine and that it forces you to become aware.
I can see
Okay.
that, how you say you spring to attention.
Yep, absolutely. That's acetylcholine. And it only lasts 2 seconds in the
Mhm.
body and then it goes away. Fascinating, right? So I teach you to use acetylcholine often during the protocol because I want to make sure the person is present during the entire conversation. So I use acetylcholine.
That's
Okay.
why some people do that, because I do notice some
Yes,
speakers, they'll use your name, and it does pull
it
attention.
pulls you in. Right. Exactly. And then I want to create social risk with you. And I'm going to do that with a slight pause. Okay. I'm going to look you in the eye. And before I say one word to you, for a brief second, I'm just going to look at you as another human being. And that's all it's going to take for your vasopressin to get released into your body because you will respond with, why is this man who I don't know staring at me for a second and not saying anything? It's going to cause vasopressin.
What does he want?
Exactly. And yes. And is he going to yell at me? Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you've predicted negativity. Your brain's automatically doing it.
exactly.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
I come in with a butterfly made up of hearts
Mhm.
and I deliver love and kindness. and I create predictive error mismatch. And the brain goes, wait a minute, I projected an ugly conversation, but what we actually got was love and kindness, and I don't know what to do here. And then it releases oxytocin and dopamine, and then suddenly you find yourself tearing up because you just got a gratitude cocktail. Because that oxytocin and that dopamine just mixed with that vasopressin and that acetylcholine, and it's going through your veins like it is purging your
What a
veins
great
with
drug.
love. It is love that is
Yes.
filling every essence of your body. Okay. And you'll feel it like when it activates, it starts at the top of the head. The phenomena starts at the top of the head, goes all the way down to the feet, and then it comes back up. And then you'll feel the vagus nerve come online as it connects the brain back to the heart. You'll feel it. It'll wave. You'll feel it wave between your head and your heart.
Mm.
Everybody that I've ever taught this has felt that in the phenomenon. It's crazy how it works. And
It's
then
like a mindgasm,
that's exactly,
heartgasm.
yes, that's what it is.
Mhm.
That's exactly what it is. And once you've had one, look, trust me, I've done many drugs in my life. I have lived a dark life. There's nothing that comes close to the gratitude cocktail. Nothing, nothing.
And you
Because
just can
all those
repeat it
drugs,
too.
oh, and I can repeat it anywhere.
It
That's why
doesn't have to be an anomaly, like one.
I just have to be kind and loving with strangers. And when I do that, I get rewarded with dopamine and oxytocin and I feel amazing.
Mhm.
Is
Oh,
that
I'm
a
gonna
bad thing?
practice that.
Yeah. I teach it professionally, literally, right? I teach this inside of companies. If you want to change a company, you change the hearts and minds of the employee,
Yes.
right? You don't waste money hiring a $25,000 professional speaker to come in and yell at you and tell you how amazing you are. That's only going to last for an hour. When that guy leaves,
Mhm.
so does the motivation. Okay. What you really need to do is teach the people that work for you how to balance the emotional energy that happens in their homes.
Mhm.
Because when I get in a fight at home, I bring it to work. And now I'm at work and I'm not showing up and giving you 100%. You're only getting 50%. Because the other half of the time I'm thinking about that argument that I just left with my wife. That is theft. That's lack of productivity. It shows up at work, right? So you want to change culture? You change the heart of the employee. Teach them how to balance their emotional energy, right? So I use a bracelet. You're looking at it. I train awareness with this bracelet. I train balanced thought with this bracelet. And then I teach you how to make a gratitude cocktail. Between those three things, in less than a week, you will be a different person.
Oh, that's incredible.
Completely different person. You will not show up the same. You cannot. You cannot show up the same. You will be aware. You will become emotionally intelligent. And then you'll also get the keys to the Ferrari, which is I can create anything I want in life. Yes. And you can have it come to you. Yes. And I can teach you how to do it.
Hmm.
Yeah. You become the luckiest person in the world once you learn how to manipulate the probabilities of reality, which I learned when I died in that swimming pool.
Wow. You definitely have. So I'm just blown away.
You're like,
It's
this is
just
the
it's so
weirdest.
simple. No,
Well,
it's love, and
it
people
is.
always talk about it as this
It is.
woo. That's what makes the whole universe it go around.
Yes.
It's the most powerful.
Amen.
It's
Yes.
not just a word. It is actually I don't know. It's a
It
omnipresent
is a
created.
neuromodulator. Love and gratitude are the two strongest drugs on the planet, hands down. I will pony up for a gratitude cocktail any day before I take a hit of crystal meth.
Mhm, and you're teaching people that.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
I
that.
can create goodness with anybody anywhere.
Mhm.
And the other fun thing about this is you're going to go into your community and you're going to create gratitude with everybody. That's the truth. We don't literally, the secret to mental health has been hiding in front of us our entire lives. And I'm the crazy man who figured out how to do it naturally because I have literally healed myself of life,
Yeah.
decades of drugs. What I needed was love in my heart. That's what I needed. That's what I have. I have love and light in my heart, and I live that way every day. I protect the light every day. If something comes into my field and it's ugly and it doesn't need to be there, I remove it,
Mhm.
right? Like things that I used to watch on television. I used to watch, R-rated movies, had no problem with it. I'm an adult. I realize this is fake. But in the end, I realized in watching some of them that there's a lot of darkness in this programming, and I don't like how it feels in my heart.
That's why it's
So as
called
much as I'd love
programming.
to see how this movie ends, I
Yeah.
now realize that if I keep watching this, it's gonna hurt me. It's gonna hurt me. It's gonna
Yeah.
hurt the light that I have in my heart. So I need to turn that off, right? So I do. I turned it off. So ultimately, it comes down to balance. I
Mhm.
teach you how to balance in any given moment. So no matter how angry you are, no matter how hot you are, you will always play love and kindness. And I can train any hothead using this bracelet. Dead serious. I was the ultimate hothead, right? Not today, man. Nope. Shake, shake, shake. I can redirect that thought, take it to my prefrontal cortex, rationalize that thing in 2 seconds, and send the old evil queen amygdala to sleep. Yep.
Man, you're just an incredible human. I just love this. It's like love. It's such a simple thing. And we are so afraid to connect to other people. There's so many times, especially during COVID, walking around Portland,
Yeah.
walking around, nobody would look you in the eye. You're got this beautiful nature in this trail and people would be enjoying it, getting fresh air. Someone would run by without a yell at me for not wearing a mask on a deserted trail. Like people won't even look you in the eye. It's like, okay, well, hello.
Yeah.
But instead of getting like, okay, well, I always try to look people in the eye when they're walking and say hello. So many people are shuffling by and with their heads down.
Yeah.
But instead of being like, well, okay, just send them love.
Yeah.
Just wish
Yeah,
them
and
love.
the key is that it come from the heart. You know,
Yes.
like I had a customer, a lady that I'm working with, and she's very loving, amazing human being. And when I was teaching her this, and she's in my course right now, and she came back to me and she says, Thane, I don't think I could do that because it seems fake. It seems inauthentic. And I said, well, if it's not coming from your heart, then yes, that's correct. It is fake and inauthentic. But every human being that does something from you benefits you. So all you got to do is figure out how it actually benefits you and put that into the conversation. And when you do that, it becomes authentic. All right. So, for example, I'll give you an example. There's not one person I can have an authentic conversation with any human being in any role and always bring it back to how it benefited me in the form of time. Most people don't realize that convenience emotional workers give us something. It's time, right? When you go to the fast food restaurant and you pick up food and stuff for your family, you picked up food and energy and that's going to feed them. But what else did you get? Time. You got an hour minimum because you're not having to cook and you're not having to clean up. So what are you going to do with that hour? That hour is valuable. Well, I know that hour I'm going to spend with my grandsons, reading them some bedtime stories. And I got that hour in my day because of you and this staff here that showed up that made this food for me. So I know you think you're just selling fast food and burgers schlepping out the window here and getting bit left and right by people who don't give a shit about you. But I do. I care today because you showed up. And I know because of that heart that you got, you're not going to be at that window there forever. I know that. You're going to go in and do great things in your life. But today, you decided to make me a burger, you and that entire staff. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for serving me this day and showing up to work. I just want you to know that I see you and I appreciate you. That's it.
Wow, you must see so many stunned people to go into that so
Okay.
much depth about that. It's like,
Yes.
who is this guy?
Yes. Yes. But did I not? Is that not all true?
It is
Did I
true.
not? Did I not get that extra 30 minutes?
Yes.
That I didn't have to do the dishes and I didn't have to cook. And with that 30 minutes, I got to cuddle with my wife on the couch, spending time. That happened because of you. That is the truth. Okay. So all we're doing is thanking people for what they're really actually doing. They're giving us time. They're
Mhm.
giving us their energy. They're giving us their love. And they often do it without anything, right? It's like when you work retail and people and you get your Karens that come up and lay you, wide open bleeding when they're done yelling at you. Like that's the bulk of what is existing in the world today. And we're all running around like Kents and Karens. And we forgot what it's like to be human. to just love each other. Because I don't know about you, but this world is ugly. It is ugly. And what I want is a world that connects and love again. When I walk down the street, I want to know that I could say hello to you and you can say hello to me.
Mhm.
And there isn't any fear in either one of us. We don't have that today. We walk down the street and the first thing I think is, oh, I wonder, oh, is he a supporter? What is he? Is he Democrat? Oh, is he a Republican? No, 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 no,
So it
no.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It doesn't. No, what matters is love. Okay.
Yes.
When I died in that pool, everything that mattered to me doesn't matter anymore. The only thing that matters is connections to human beings. That is what matters. That is what you take with you. That is also what determines what happens to you in heaven. That is also true, right? Most people, I'll share this. Most people say, Thayne, what's the thing you learned, the most important thing you learned in your near death experience? Okay. And I'll give you three things. Three things. And if you know these three things, you're going to do wonderful, right? The first one is unconditional love. You are asked to demonstrate, do you know and do you consistently create unconditional love in the world? And an extension of love is also right and wrong. So, am I choosing good choices? That's an extension of love. Rule number one. Rule number two, the thing that keeps most people caught up in heaven is called subtraction. It's about letting go of those things in life where people have hurt us and we carry it in our heart and we take it with us when we die. And you do not want to be carrying negative energy in your heart from people that hurt you when you
Mm-mm.
die.
That's why
Okay.
forgiveness is so important. It's freeing you.
It is exactly, it is for you. That is correct.
Mhm.
But most people, when they die, they haven't let go of the hardness in their heart from people who have hurt them. And that alone will keep you from going where you want to go in heaven.
Mhm.
Okay?
It's drinking poison and thinking the other person's gonna die.
Yep, exactly. And then the last thing that you have to master is this simple question. And it is this: can you find me from within? That's the question.
Can
Wow.
you find me from within? Can you find me as yourself finding me from within or finding them from within you? Explain that again. Walk me
Mm,
through that.
it's a deep question, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is. I'm trying to
Find me from within. Okay,
find
so
from
it's
within.
actually an understanding that you are also a co-creator with God. You're cut from the same light, cut from the same source of light. We're an extension of that same source of light, right? So we
Oh,
are
you're talking as far as what God said, "Find me within." Yes. The
find
kingdom of heaven is within.
within.
Yes.
Yes, and
Yes.
what's
His
interesting
teachings have
is
been bastardized.
it does not take a religious framework to know
You
God.
Nope. That's control.
Right, exactly. So what the creator wants to know is, can you find me on your own?
Yes.
Because if you can do that, now the keys to the kingdom are yours. That is
Mhm.
true. When you can answer those three things, you enter the presence of the one, the creator.
Mhm.
When you cannot answer those three things, you will come back. I know Christianity does not like to hear that. I get it. I grew up believing I had one life. But after I
Oh,
died
no.
and I saw how our souls are taught, we get many times at bat here until
Yes.
we can master those three questions. You see? Once you can
I'm
answer
taking those
those three
questions.
questions
I don't wanna
and
come
you
back.
well, and that's exactly what happens. You get the
Mhm.
option to come back. So when
Okay.
I die this next time around, I can come back to earth if I want to, or I can stay in the presence of God. I have
Yes.
a choice. Or I can go to any planet in any solar system, anywhere that God has creation, I can go there.
'Cause you've learned those 3
I can
questions.
master right, and
Yes.
the
So
reason number 3 is so
choose.
critical is that you can find God and you can return every time, you see?
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
why. He won't let you go anywhere in the kingdom until God knows that you can always find God.
Ah.
That's why you don't get the keys to the Ferrari until you know how to drive home every time,
Yes.
right? I know that I've had multiple lives, many
Me
lives.
too.
I can recall many of them myself from past lives. And so I do know that this is my last life.
Mhm.
This is my last time because I know the three questions and trust me, I can answer them. Not a problem here. And I teach it to everybody I run across because honestly, everybody wants to know what's the secret. I just gave it to you. The three most important things. Number one, unconditional love, choosing right from wrong. Number two, letting go, that subtraction. Okay. And then the final thing is we're all on a journey to learn how to light from within. And when we can do it on our own without the help of anybody else, it's just you and a planet. And that's where you're at. How do you get home? There's nobody going to help you.
Mm-mm.
You have to learn how to find that light from within. And
Yes.
you can, no matter where you're at, you will always return home.
Yes. And that's how it is with a lot of relationships. You're looking for something to make you happy. You can put the most, you can get that car you want, that job you want, that partner you want. But if you don't have happiness within yourself or love for yourself within you,
Yeah.
how are you going to be able to give it to anyone else? You're going to feel like you're just going to keep taking from the other person because there's never going to be enough until you can find it within yourself. And the love that we feel for someone else, like you said earlier, it's a mirror, like really reflecting the love from ourselves in the other person. So we're feeling our love reflected back to us. And you're giving that daily, every day with your gratitude sandwiches.
Every day. Yeah. I
Yeah.
have a phrase that I teach. It's called dare to be second.
Yes,
Okay.
I was just going to highlight that here. Yeah.
Yeah. It's dare to be second. And the word dare is because it takes courage to live in gratitude.
Mhm.
Okay. Like knowing that there's going to be times when I deliberately choose second place. I do not have to be first every time. I can, but I don't have to be all the time. I let other people win first place because everybody needs to feel what that feels like to be first. Okay. So it does take courage to live in gratitude, the word dare. The number two, I use the number two as a reminder that the key to happiness in life lies in being able to create gratitude in all things. And gratitude is bidirectional. It goes between two people and it goes between me and it comes back. So it goes out, it comes back to me. It's bidirectional. And it takes two people to create what we call gratitude entanglement. When two strangers meet and they become known, and from that day forward, it's a physics thing. Quantum physics talks about entanglement and particles. The same thing happens with the gratitude sandwich. When I entangle with a stranger, if I saw that person again, they wouldn't treat me the same. They know me now. I'm friendly. I'm safe. You see, that's why we do it. Okay. The word be is because it is a state of being. When you live in gratitude, it is a state of being and it's a framework of your existence. And then the last word is second. And it's a reminder of the importance of the here and now, the present moment where the magic happens. And it is also second in that it is the most powerful position in the world is actually second place. So the way I wrap it up is with this analogy. God is in second position, the most powerful position in the world. God is second, and God puts us first. We are first. All right. And then comes the equal sign, which is gratitude. So to balance that equation in math, we go to the other side and we flip it. And then we know that our job is to put God first and to put us second. And when we do that mathematically, they cancel. And what you have is perfection, which is ultimate balance in the present moment. And that's exactly how life works, right? The most important thing is actually second place. It's not first.
Wow, I've
And we
never
live
heard
in
it.
a world that lives a first place culture,
Mhm.
okay? Which is why we're also screwed up, right? So I haven't told you the entire equation, but it goes like this. We add those things in life that brings forth goodness and joy. That's addition. We subtract those things that do not bring forth joy, that brings forth negative energy and it hurts our souls. We let those things go. What does God want? I don't know why I'm getting emotional.
Mm.
What does God want? God wants us to balance. He just wants us to add those things that we know will help us and let go of the things that don't and achieve a state of balance. And I don't mean balance like this. I mean balance like this. Perfect balance. Able to
Mm.
be anywhere at any time. Okay. Constant motion because nothing ever rests. Nothing. Okay. So now I'm balanced. And then I put action and my intention and I align it with that higher power. And when I do that, it grows. That's multiplication. So multiplication is taking my balanced goodness, my effort, action, and intention and making it bigger. So I'm a co-creator. See, there went the thumb.
I don't
I'm
know
a
how.
co-creator. I'm a co-creator with God. And I created, so I had $100. And with my energy and effort and God's help and my friends' help, because God helped them find my friends, I now have $1,000. Okay. Well, I've got 1,000 and I'd only need 600 of the 1,000. But there's something called the principle of abundance. And it's something that we don't do correctly on this planet, which is why we're where we're at. The principle of abundance is always a cost that comes from the heart. So if I need 600 of this 1,000, that's the cost. The abundant cost is I need another 100, $150 on top of that 600 to feel safe. Because as a human being, I desire safety. And I know that this month I might not get it next month, but I got it this month. So I'm taking that 150. So here's the thing, God, out of this 1,000 that we created, I'm going to take the 750 and the other 250 is excess. I don't need it. All right. What happens next? We divide. So who gets this 250? The leftover excess abundance that we don't need. It goes back into the system of where it came from. We're supposed to donate it. I don't need this. I trust that it will come as I need it. So I'm giving it away. So you give it to charity. You give it away. You put it back from where it came from. And when we do that, the entire equation runs in perpetuity forever. And it's perfectly balanced. But we don't do that today. We hold on to our wealth. And we have we're going to have the world's first trillionaire soon. That's going to happen in our
We
life.
never had,
We've
we
never
don't
had
have any trillionaires?
we have
Trillionaire.
billionaires.
Who? Amazon or?
It'll be, yeah, one of those guys will hit $1 trillion. There's no doubt. Okay. But you cannot look, and here's the thing, because I've had people take shots at me. I'm not saying that you can't be wealthy. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is there's a responsibility that comes with wealth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give
And
back.
I don't think anybody can look at these billionaires running around in these multi-million-dollar yachts and say that they're making good decisions, whether people that are dying over there because they don't even have running water. How do
Yeah,
you lay
it's
your head down?
obscene.
How do you lay your head down on the pillow at night, tootling around on your $100 million yacht when people are just struggling to put food in their bellies? To me, that tells me you've lost connection with reality. And I will also tell you that in your next life, you are going to be in the slums.
Exactly.
You will be in the slums of India.
Hmm.
Okay. And I don't mean that demeaning. I'm just saying
No,
you're
it's your lesson.
You're
Yep.
yeah, you're nope. Everything gets balanced, right? You ever wonder why some people are rich and you're not? You will have an opportunity in a lifetime to be wealthy. Of course you will, right? But there comes with a responsibility with wealth, right? And some of these world billionaires, they're going to learn a tough lesson because when they meet their maker, they are not going to like the outcome. And that's
Some of them
true.
are philanthropic. Am I saying that right? Some of them really give away from the heart, not just for a tax
Yeah.
deduction or a write
Oh,
off.
yeah.
They really
Yeah.
do. But we look at our nations, like our country. Literally, I wasn't even aware of things till the last couple of years. Now I try to pull myself to that 30,000 feet. Like, how can you have a country where people can't put food on the table? They have to choose between putting a roof over their head or health insurance, and anyone's on the street or a child goes hungry, and we're sending $1 billion a day overseas to a foreign war. It just makes
Yeah.
zero sense. Like,
We're so disconnected. And really what's really going on here? We've disconnected from God. That's the
yes,
truth.
yes.
Okay. And
Well, they want the government to be our religion.
before I drowned in that pool, I was an atheist. I didn't believe in anything. I thought, oh, you
Hmm.
go in the ground, that's the end. That's what I believed. There's no way, man. That thing is real.
Yeah.
It is real. And it is nothing but love. Nothing but love. Like the other side is magical and it is everything that you can imagine. It is that and more, which is
Hmm.
why you want to go back. And you want to go back with the ability to be in the presence of the one.
Hmm.
That is what you wanna do.
I know I've had moments in my own life, of course, when I'm sharing from the heart or seeing, just sharing. I've had gratitude for other people and just sharing it, whether I get something or not back. I've had it where I had this out of body experience and I didn't want to come back because I just felt this
Yeah,
amazing love. I just saw everything. I understood everything. Oh, I understand. Saw how life worked. I saw everything. And then, of course, I did the Reiki master training, and that just the love I felt during that process was incredible. Every time hear the song, that song was out around the time that
mm,
Alex, I forgot his last name, that song was out. And every time I hear that song, it just takes me into
yeah,
just that love. It's just such beautiful love for everything in life and
yeah,
that energy. It's amazing.
yeah,
So, all of us humans walking around with that, like you're helping to just a simple thing. I mean,
yeah,
just a simple concept of going out there smiling and sharing. I mean, it's not simple, but
mm,
once you get past that fear, it becomes a natural thing. And once you feel it, the benefits of it, you don't want to
yeah.
stop. So you're creating.
When you embody gratitude,
Mhm.
your whole life
You're a
takes on
magnet.
you. Yes, and then you find that you start attracting like-minded people. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like, I felt alone a lot when I first started writing all this stuff and realizing that I was different and I thought differently, but you find your tribe, the people that know how important love and gratitude is, they exist in the world today, and when you put that out there, they'll find you. It's like the world. I'm always surprised at the people that I meet randomly in gratitude sandwiches that actually become good friends.
Mm.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing. Like, you walk into the grocery store and people, they'll be like, "Hey, Thane," they know my name
Yeah.
because I know their names. Like, remember when we used to know the guy standing behind the counter that served the sample of meat? I got a sample of bologna from the bologna guy. His name was
Hmm.
John. I remember him as a child. You know what I mean? And the cheese
Yes.
guy, the cheese man, his name was Timothy. The guy that brought cheese to the house was Tim. We knew them as people. They weren't
Hmm.
just a name in a uniform.
Hmm.
We've
Humanizing them.
lost that. We've lost our connection. People are disposable today.
Yes.
And that's why we're where we were at. We don't care about people and we don't care about you. I just care about numero uno, me.
Hmm.
And that is
Well,
why you're so
and
lost.
that's why we have beautiful humans like you
That's
bringing
right.
everyone back to themselves. What is natural within us and how we were meant to be here on this earth with God within our hearts
Yes.
and not all about me. And I like that transposing where where God puts
Yep.
us
Yep.
God
God
is
put
second to
us.
us and then we reverse that and then
Yep.
God isn't just something out there to be controlled by. He's here. It's that
Yes,
love.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, and it's like once you have the light here, okay? The thing is, like, ultimately in my course, when you finish my course, you have heart brain coherence again. You had it as
Mm.
a child. You
Mhm.
had it, okay? But we lose heart brain coherence at about age 4 and 5 when we learn to use our language skills because the child communicates with the mother telepathically through the heart. We know that. Okay. That's why a mom knows when the baby's crying. The mom knows that the baby needs to be changed, even though she can't hear or see the baby. It's telepathic. It's in our hearts. We can communicate that way. So, but what happens is at about age 4 or 5, there's a moment when mama does something that is opposite of the energy that's coming from her heart. Okay. And that's when the child begins separating. And eventually it realizes it lets go of the heart as a decision maker and it relies upon the brain. So at about 4 or 5, we lose heart brain coherence. And unless we get it back through dedicated work, like what I teach, then you walk with cognitive, but you don't have coherence between both, right? But with the gratitude cocktail and you do it enough. That's the other part, right? There's a secret sauce in my program. And once you understand that secret sauce, your brain's going to convert and you'll moving forward, you're just going to know love. That's all you're going to know.
Wow.
And it's permanent because I mean, I never thought I would be happy.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
never
you
thought. I mean, I can honestly look at you and say, I am happy that I was abused by multiple people. I'm grateful for that experience because it made me me. I wouldn't be the man today, and I wouldn't have the happiness that resides in my heart had I not walked through that fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That fire made my heart bigger. I have a huge heart today, but I got there by walking through that fire.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to embrace your crap. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Instead of
recognize
walking around it, you have to walk
we're all
through.
human. We're all human and we make mistakes. So brush it off. Okay. Because trust me, the biggest mistake is accepting it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Don't judge yourself. Love yourself. Give yourself the love that you deserve because if you don't take care of you, how can you take care of the world around you? Right?
Exactly.
So many people fall into the trap of people pleasing because they're trying to fit in by making everybody else happy. But what they forgot is themselves.
Yeah, they're fracturing
Right.
themselves.
Right. And so eventually they fracture and then they're unable to take care of the people that they love that want to take care of
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't take care of themselves. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the old analogy, when the thing on the airplane, you have to
Yeah, the
secure
mask.
your mask before the child.
Yes,
It should be that way in all things,
right. And
right?
it's supposed to fill your own cup first and then give from the overflow.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep. That would be gratitude.
That's gratitude. Wow, that's so incredible. I'm going to take a lot of what we talked about today. I'm going to listen to this over again and bring that into my own life. And I would love to hear right now, before we wrap up, if someone is listening right now and feels stuck, overwhelmed, or disconnected, you've given so many great examples throughout this conversation. What is one of the first steps they can take back to themselves? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm going to give you guys a freebie right now. Okay. This is a freebie. I'll give you the link. You can put it in the website or in the episode. You can order a bracelet on Amazon. It costs
Mhm.
$10. Okay. You put the bracelet on your non-dominant hand. You don't wear it. So if you're right-handed, it goes on the left hand. Okay. It's designed, you notice these little balls here.
Mhm.
Okay. Those are actually tactile stimulation. They're designed that way. They're weighted for a specific reason. This one's customized. It says gratitude, dare to be second, has my butterfly logo on the back. You get that when you graduate from the course. Okay. But when you take my course, you get what I call a training bracelet, which anybody can buy on Amazon. Okay. And it's hematite and you
Mm,
wear it on your
hematite.
wrist. You put it on the wrist that is non-dominant. Okay. And this is how it works. So the minute that you put it on, these little balls, okay, you see these little balls?
Mhm.
Okay,
My
they're
cat's gonna love
gonna
that.
hang in the inside of my palm. You see that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, it's
So
for the
yeah,
on the
I
left.
want it to hang right there. Okay. So this is how I train awareness. And it's amazing how fast it works. Okay. And even the psychologists are like, that's not going to work. I'm like, yeah, it is. Try it. Try it. It's actually that simple. Okay. So you buy this off of Amazon, you put it on your left wrist. The minute you feel those little balls tickle the inside of your hand, you ask yourself the question, am I present? Okay.
Mm.
Am I present? So this is what's called a cognitive pattern interrupt sequence. All right. So every time I feel those little balls tickle the inside of my hand, am I present? Okay. So then you take a little post it note like this and you put a little tick mark. I am present, just like that. Okay. Just a
Mhm.
little tick mark.
Yep.
All right. Go on throughout my day. 5 minutes later, I notice those little balls tickling my hand again because they're new to me. And I ask myself, am I present? No, I'm actually not present. I'm thinking about the argument that I got in with my son earlier today, and I'm actually not focusing on the thing I'm supposed to be focusing on. Oh, oh, good. So you weren't present. Where were you? In the past. Okay. So now put a little tick over here. Okay. So this is
Yes.
the past.
Yep.
All right. Now keep going throughout your day. I just felt them again. Am I present? Yeah, I'm present. Okay. Now I'm going to teach you a trick. You see how you can hold these balls
Mhm.
with your fingers? Okay. Just like that. So I'm present. Okay. Now, how long can you hold on to these balls? Because it takes focus to hold them, doesn't it?
Mhm.
So now go do your day and realize that it's somewhere along in the next 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to drop them. And then you realize how often you leave focus. You see how that works?
Hmm.
Okay. So the goal is, am I present? Great. How long can you hold those balls before you drop them? Okay. This is Haitian learning.
Well, carpal tunnel.
You could, I mean, if you got carpal tunnel, that could be challenging.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but that's the idea. All right. So after just about a day of that, you're going to end up with something that looks like this.
You catch yourself a lot
Hmm.
in the beginning.
Yeah. So you'll end up with a chart that kind of looks like that.
Yes. Okay.
So this is present, this is your past, and this is your future. So this is a person who's only present maybe 10%, 15% of the time, and they're spending most of their rumination thought patterns over here in the past. Okay. So now you know where you're thinking. Okay. So of the 100 times that I checked my presence, more than half the time I was not present. I was actually daydreaming, thinking about this or thinking about that. So once you start using this, you begin training yourself to the present. So immediately, am I present? Yes, I am. Great. But after just wearing that bracelet and that protocol, within 24 hours, you will become more aware. You will realize that bad habit that you've created from being distracted by these things, okay, that will go away. And generally speaking, in 48 hours of wearing this bracelet and doing that, am I present like that, you will fix that habit and then you will become aware.
It's
So
pretty incredible. I'm going to go order that as soon as
anybody
we get off.
can learn this literally with that protocol. That is the first thing that I teach is awareness training because the next thing that you need to learn is the 0.25 seconds that every human being has between when the amygdala has a thought that it will execute and your prefrontal cortex. We all have 1/4 of a second. And I teach you how to find that 0.25 seconds and use it, literally. And we do it with the bracelet.
Oh,
Same thing.
incredible.
Same thing. But I start with awareness because you can't become emotionally intelligent until you become aware of your thoughts and actions. So I start there.
Well, okay. Wow. You've given us a lot to work with, a lot to, it's just incredible. This love and awareness, and everyone's going to have to go and get your bracelet. I would love for my audience, let them know where to find you, how to work with you. What do you have that's lighting you up right now?
Yeah. So my website's the best place to learn about me. It's very simple. I know that it was saved for me by the thing upstairs. My website is It's Pure Love.
Mhm.
ITSPURELOVE. And when I decided to create the company, I'm like, I don't know what to call it. And the thing that sat with me is that the word it is perfect because it can mean anything to anybody. And so it's pure love is just exactly that. It's your definition of your source of love. So when I typed that in for a domain address and it was available, I'm like, okay, that was left for me. That's when I knew, okay, God, I see I need to create this company so I can teach people how to heal from within and get off all these drugs that are literally killing us.
Right, right. Well, we have a whole society that's on drugs, a pharmaceutical. Oh, well, you're
Oh,
feeling this way. Here's a drug for that. Here's a drug for that. Our babies, our kids.
yes. Well, and not only that, but it's all of that stuff impacts our genetics, right? People don't realize that how you live shows up in your genes.
Hmm.
That's called epigenetics. Okay? And the stress and the things that happen in your life get imprinted into your DNA
Yes.
and it does show up in your children. You study after study. We've seen that with lab rats. We can prove it and we do it and you can see it. That's why, like my kids have a fear of abandonment. They have a fear of being absconded, like taken. And that came from my fear that was ingrained in my DNA from being taken as a child.
Hmm.
Right. So my kids never experienced anything like that, but they all have that feeling inside them and it's innate. And it came from my DNA,
Hmm.
from my life experience because I was absconded. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how that stuff impacts, our lives. But the most important thing, anybody can change. Anybody.
Yeah.
and you heal it with love.
Yes. And you're a true testament for that with everything that you've gone through and to where you are now. One more question before we go. I'd
Okay.
love to hear this. And I think I've already felt it through our conversation and everything that you shared. What does a truly aligned, peaceful life feel like for you now compared to before?
Before was heavy. I felt heavy constantly. And today I'm weightless. Weightless.
Beautiful and simplicity
I'm weightless. I'm free. I'm like literally that butterfly. You think of how a butterfly flies? That's free.
in the
Okay.
wind, just
Right. Yep. When you realize that no matter what you throw at me, I can balance in this moment. Like there's literally nothing. And I'm the former hothead. I am the guy that would go off on you because my rental car was not ready on time.
mm,
And I'd make you cry before I walked away from that rental car.
wow.
I am the exact opposite of the man that I once was. And this is a lot better. It's a lot more fun, man.
Yeah.
I love loving people. I've always loved people, but I had the wrong stories in my head from being abused as a child. I understand my behavior. I don't, I don't, you know, I own it,
Yeah. And
not
with
who
that, your whole life is transformed and you've transformed others. Well,
I am.
this has been an incredible conversation. I just thought of the last question that I always ask that I forgot to ask on my last guest, but I'm going to ask you
Okay.
because you probably heard it. If you listen to, you said you listened to a recent
Uh-huh.
podcast. What does it mean for you to live with an awakened heart?
Awakened heart for me, it's the obligation that I have to share my light with others. It's to live
Beautiful.
in such a way that others want to have the same light.
God, I felt that. I felt that.
Yeah. That's
Mm,
how I
yeah,
yeah.
beautiful.
And I'm usually split seconds from tears most days, but they're tears of joy.
Hmm.
My heart is fully open today and I cry a lot and I love men that cry.
Hmm.
The
Tears of
strongest
joy.
man in the room is the one crying. Yeah.
Tears of joy.
Yeah. 100%. And that's actually my wife's name. My
Joy?
wife's name is Joy. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I know that you have a wonderful partnership. I didn't even get into those questions here.
Um, she's
And yeah, and she's
yeah,
helped you a lot in your own awakening.
unbelievable. Unbelievable the support that I've had from her
Yes,
for sure. Best
wonderful.
decision I ever made.
Yes. Well, God, if you're listening, our other conversation, part two about
Her too. Yeah. How to
partnership.
find
Yeah,
the perfect man.
exactly. And
Well,
I
since
will
you
be reaching
deserve
out
one,
to you.
I can tell you that right
Yes.
now.
Thank you. Well, maybe the next time we connect, maybe there will be someone in my vicinity once I start practicing more of this gratitude because I myself, I know I've gotten lost at times, like laying in bed, waking up at 2 in the morning with stress. Well, everything's perfect right now. I'm in bed. I've got a roof over my head. I'm in the covers. I'm comfortable. I'm safe. But thinking about things in the past and then projecting it into my future.
Yeah.
I mean, how can abundance live when in scarcity and lack and in the fear and survival and all
Yeah.
that? So,
Yeah. So that's where I teach something called balanced thought. All right.
mhm,
So we use the bracelet for balanced thought. And you got to look at it this way. When I teach you the protocol and you learn how to create gratitude with strangers, okay, we're not being recorded anymore, right? Are we still being recorded?
we are,
Okay.
but I can end this.
You'll edit this. Don't put this in there. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the thing with gratitude. Once you learn how to create a gratitude cocktail and you can do it, all right, then I have you do it 9 times. So for 3 days, you do nothing but gratitude in every conversation, every email, every text message, everything follows what we call the gratitude sandwich protocol. Okay. So for 3 days, you are literally bathing every cell in your body with love for 3 days. And everybody in your orbit gets nothing but love from you. Okay. So you get a phone call and it's from your friend Sally. Okay. And you talk to Sally all the time and she's your best friend. But today I'm in gratitude. So, Sally, hey, I'm not quite sure why you're calling today, but before we have that conversation, I want to first start by thanking you by thanking you for being my friend, for being that person that stood up for me when this happened. And I want you to know how much I appreciate that throughout my life. Every time I've needed somebody to turn to, you have always been there for me. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm thinking of the amazing memories that I have on that one time when we went kayaking down the Salt River and the canoe turned over and we lost all of our supplies and we lost all of our food and we struggled. But I look at that and now I laugh because I don't think I could have gotten through that entire trip had it not been for you. So
Mm.
I'm not quite sure why you're calling me today, but I just want you to know, Sally, you made a difference in my life and I am so grateful for you. I just want you to know that.
That's beautiful.
Okay. And
There's
then
no
you have
fear of being vulnerable. Like, you're being
no,
vulnerable and you're not
yeah,
afraid
no,
of it.
right. And then Sally's gonna say,
Oh
"Oh
my gosh.
God," like what? Like she'll probably be in tears,
Mhm.
okay? And you might start crying too, okay? Um, but that's then there's the meat of the conversation. That's the meat. So the bottom bun is the opening gratitude, the meat is the middle, and then the top bun is one final closing and gratitude. Hey, Sally. All right. So what you're saying is we're having dinner at your place Friday night, and I need to pick up the salt for the margaritas. I'm all over it. I'll be there. Okay. And Sally, I meant what I said earlier. I really appreciate you being my friend. And I just want you to know that. And I love you. There you go. There's a gratitude sandwich. That was one conversation of about 50 conversations that you will have that day in that exact same mode. Every text message. I got a text message from somebody. Then I start back with gratitude. Hey, not sure why you're texting me, but right now I want to thank you. Right? So when you this phenomena that I teach, Nancy, when you get a gratitude cocktail, you'll know it. You'll feel it. It'll be, if you do it right, they have to be a stranger, okay? And they have to be in a place that you've never been before. That's critical because your body won't release vasopressin any other way. That's why they have to be a stranger. They have to be in a place that your subconscious mind has no memory, has nothing to draw from. Perfect scenario.
Well, how do you do that if I mean, I could be walking around my neighborhood, I see strangers all the time on trails, but I know the trail, so it has to be I mean, you can still
Yeah.
connect with them and express gratitude to them or subliminally. So you're
Oh,
saying somewhere that's
yeah.
what?
You're going to feel amazing. You're going to have a great interchange. You're going to
But
get
you don't get the
oxytocin.
you're
You're
not gonna
not
get the
gonna get
vasopressin.
back. Uh-uh.
Ah,
That
okay.
because
Oh,
vasopressin
I have to put
only
myself
happens
in strange
if
environments.
yes. So, like, what I tell people is, if you regularly go to the Starbucks at that corner, then go to a different Starbucks, one that you haven't been to before, because I want your brain to have nothing
Yeah,
to
to
establish
associate.
safety. Yes, I want nothing. So, I'll send you into the world to go create this. Okay, so here's what happens. The first time you have one of these things, it'll blow your mind. The second time you have one, it'll still blow your mind. By about the third time, you're like, okay, this is amazing. I'm doing this for the rest of my life. And and then on about day 2, day 3, everybody that I have taught this to, they have a fundamental moment in time when it feels like a light bulb that turns on inside of the head. That's the best way to describe the feeling,
Mhm.
as weird as that sounds. Everybody has this moment where they suddenly are awake in a way that they've never been awake before.
And it stays with them.
It does. It's a heightened state of consciousness. And what's
Mhm.
actually happening is,
Well, it's you're connecting both.
yes, yes, percent. Yep, I'm connecting your heart back to your brain.
Yes,
Okay.
where it should be.
And then I keep it that way.
Yes.
So I use my cards for people that take my course. You pull 2 cards a week. And the rest of your life, you'll pull from the same deck of cards. And because when you pull the card, it's random.
Mhm.
Okay. And I always teach people, God knows what card you need. All right. So don't pick one. You open the deck, you start scrolling. When your heart says stop, whatever that card is, that's the card you play
Yeah.
today. Okay. And you may have done that card 3 days ago. Okay. But now you're doing that same card with somebody different. You're in a different location, different time, different place. You're gonna get a different outcome. And that always blows my mind how incredibly well, that they
Yeah.
work.
Well, this has been such an incredible conversation, and I can't wait for everybody to seek you out, look at your website, do these gratitude sandwiches all over the place, work with you, and see how the world can change because of you. So, thank you so much for coming on and
Thank
sharing
you so much
your
for having me.
stories, your
I
wisdom.
appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You as well.
Bye.